All right, let's get this neural party started. Done. There we go. I'm going to start with some emotional regulation. You're going to inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale on my descending count of 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today's principle of real leadership is the 63rd principle of real leadership, and it is smile and laugh often. Yes, life is really meant to be enjoyed, so smile frequently and laugh often. Laughter is good for the soul. So here's my definition of the principle of real leadership: laugh and smile often. To laugh and smile often is to train your brain to release tension, restore balance, and reset focus. So that is why you laugh and you smile often. Real leaders understand that laughter and smiling aren't just emotional reactions, they are neural activation that boost dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. So it strengthens your brain's resilience and adaptability. Hey there, Daisy. So that's why you want to laugh and smile often. When I talk to people about the principles of real leadership, they believe that, oh, it's principled, I'm going to have to be so stiff and so rigid. I don't even know how they do that with me talking. But anyway, they think it's this regimented thing where there is no fun. But smile and laugh often, have fun, relax, and take naps are there for a whole brain experience. And so again, when you smile and laugh often, the neural activations are you're going to boost your dopamine, your serotonin, and your endorphins. And this is going to, good morning, Lola. This is going to strengthen your brain's resilience and adaptability. When you can laugh at yourself, it is amazing. Not that you're going to be the butt of the jokes, but that you can just see the humor in some of the things that you are doing. Some days when Nola and I are interacting with each other, going to appointments, I'm like, if we had a doggone reality TV show, this shit would be, it would be funny as hell. Her parking in an apartment complex that's crowded alone. Oh my goodness, you would be like, is she gonna get in that parking space? How many times? Why did she go all the way to the edge of the corner with her cars and trash cans and an RV to make a U-turn? I don't know. But hey, it's a work in progress. So laughing and smiling often is a beautiful, wonderful thing. And inside of my book, I say it takes 73 muscles to frown, and it only takes 11 to smile. So you should just smile just for wrinkle control. Yeah, that part. So when you laugh and smile often, you rewire your brain for positivity and creative problem solving. When we have situations at appointments, just like right now, Instagram is Instagramming, and we got to transition to TikTok. If I don't like the answer whenever I hear back from them, as far as them putting people on a wait list that I didn't ask for, I got to laugh at that situation and I got to keep it pushing, because there are still 5.9 billion adults out there that need to learn how to hold themselves personally accountable. And so laughing sometimes is the best situation. It also strengthens your prefrontal cortex and your amygdala connection. You said, what now? You're going to strengthen the PFC and the ACC connection? Yes, because it reduces stress reactivity. When you have joy and happiness and laughter in your life, now the amygdala ain't like, oh my God, I'm so scared. So it strengthens your emotional regulation. Now, it signals safety to your nervous system, allowing your brain to think clearly and lead effectively. Smile and wrinkle control. Yes, all at the same time. They're talking about you need to have rejuvenation and all these other things and free radicals and all of that. Just laugh and smile, and you're going to feel better. You're going to have a youthful existence. And then it models emotional intelligence and sets the tone for others to follow. It sets the tone for others to follow. If I came on here every day, so today we're going to be talking about the amygdala, the left and right amygdala, and they seek safety and comfort, and they say stay safe, and then you'll be the same. The basal ganglia is the comfort circuit, and in that it has your daily routines. And when you have a comfort routine, it feels safe too. It notifies the hippocampus that everything is all good. And so safe memories then take synaptic connections and neural pathways to the prefrontal cortex where your executive function resides. And now your working memory can work. Your cognitive flexibility allows you to be flexible. And then your inhibition control ensures that you are going to be good to go. What questions do you have about the brain? No, y'all wouldn't tune in every day, right? But when I say Amy and Lala's ass is over here, the basal ganglia, the comfort cousin showing up talking shit, now you're like, hey, I like my brain. I want to learn more about my brain. So it is exciting because it is inviting and we laugh and we smile over here. And now you're learning at the same time. And so you're able to have fun. I tuned out, no clue what you just said. Exactly. And now you can say them damn twins. Oh, here comes Lala's ass. Always saying something. But Miss Brenda, the ACC is like, no, y'all not going to the prefrontal cortex. I think not, darling. Take your asses back to the temporal lobe. We don't have time for that. Not today. So by making it exciting and fun and rewarding, you now understand how this amazing organ works and you know how it functions. So you know how you function so you can function better. So a real leader's smile is not denial, it's discipline. It tells the brain, I choose joy, even while I'm building strength. Even in the midst of all of this that's taking place, I choose joy. I choose happiness. I choose to have a natural dopamine release, even though it might be shit show palooza because it makes it better. And I think I've said this story when I worked at Frito-Lay as a facilities operation manager, especially, Sterling Heights was the only place I was bomb. And large union facility, a 55,000 square foot warehouse, 92 routes a day. If we had call-offs, then I would pick orders and order food and all of that. But then we had 3 different radios because of how big the warehouse was. And then I would just sing. And they would be like, shut up, Donna, be quiet. And Alicia Keys' song, No One, was out at that time. No one can get in the way of what I'm... But I was like, no one. They're like, shut up. Just to lighten the mood while I was picking orders. And every song I would sing as I went around because now people are focused on me sounding terrible. And so they just want to work faster to get the hell out of there. They're like, shut up. I'm like, work faster. We can get out of here. I'll stop singing. All we got to do is be expeditious and we can get out of here. No, stop. You don't even know the word. I'm like, I do. Do you know how you actually have to know the words to the song to mess the words up? That's how that goes. So my brain is 95% song lyrics. So my question to you is, why is it hard for adults to laugh and smile often? Give me your answers. And while you give me your answers, drink water. So why do you believe that it is hard for adults to laugh and smile in day-to-day life? Not watching a comedy, not going to a comedy show, but in your own, existence. Why is that hard? And they are cutting the grass at the golf course, and so it is emanating over here. But we no longer have to have the PGA Tour. Good morning, Regina. Why is everybody's username different? What happened? Everybody got numbers behind their username. Did y'all always have that? I didn't think so. What's up with that? Be happy. We're too serious about life. Yes, we are. And Regina, you're an elementary school teacher, and I know you might have to take care of things. So if you can't answer the question, it's okay. But Nola and I have a thought process. I changed mine to 702 because being from 702. Okay. So what happens, Regina, if you have time? If not, it's okay. We are in elementary school and we are told we can be anything. The classrooms are colorful and beautiful. They're themed for the year and all of that. And then we get to middle school and we got to look at them ugly ass walls. And they might have a photo of something, safety, don't do drugs or something like that. And then by high school, ain't no more decorations. In college, forget it. You might not even be in the same class. And Nola and I were having a conversation about that. And we were like, if this worked for our foundational yearning, you could come to school if you didn't have uniforms with a tutu on and your colorful outfits, if you had a sanguine personality. And now it's like, no, everybody wear uniforms. Everybody's going to be in dress code. And then it's just this whole limiting existence to the point where you're grown. You can't have fun no more. Why? If you like tutus and you look good in them, put them on. Why can't you dress up and have a cape on anymore? We see an adult with a cape on, we're like, oh my God, they need to check in somewhere. We need to do a wellness check. But a little child with a cape on saying, I'm gonna step up and be Superman. It's okay. But if it worked then, why can't it work now? Why do we have to be so serious? Trapped with thoughts about our lives. And so I believe that that's just crazy. Now, are there some conservative children? I was one of them. Hell, I had a suit on in 5th grade. But this whole notion of we can't laugh anymore. People always say you got to tone it down. You have to tone it down. When I was at Frito-Lay, I didn't realize that they were telling me to be coffee with cream, and they wanted me to just acquiesce and turn into damn Condoleezza Rice or somebody. I'm like, that ain't me. I can't come in here and not be me. I am a peacock in a land of penguins. So let me get the fuck out of here, because that's not how I operate. Imagine trying to tone this down and take just the technical part and then let me be a robot. Absolutely not. I stayed me, even in the military and even in my corporate job, against other people's advisement not to do so. Well, that's going to impact your career. Well, fuck it. I can go get another career. I can go do something else, but I can't stop being myself. So for me, we had that in elementary school, and then we had to start being realistic. And so I'm like, well, change elementary school. If we got to be realistic from the giddy up, then fuck it. Because what happens is Nola and I go to people's houses and they got Star Wars doggone Lego sets, whole room full of toys and everything else, because they were denied having these things throughout their life. And who says that and then it's like, okay, we live in Las Vegas, so everybody's coming to look for entertainment and fun and everything else. But why do you have to go to it? Why can't you have entertainment and fun throughout your day? Why can't you smile and laugh often? That's why this is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, because, and y'all can chime in too, it's absurd that you get to go and think that you could be Superman and Wonder Woman, and you could be a karate master and a barber and president. And then you get your 7th grade Lexile test scores back and they say, looks like you're going to be a sanitation engineer based upon this shit. It's crazy. It's absurd. So I'm saying laugh often and have fun and don't change anything. And are there comments coming in? Let me see before I switch out. Is YouTube tripping? Or did y'all hear that? Insane. I mean, it's so rude. It's 5:43 in the morning here, and listen to what's happening. If you were already not awake, you are awake now. Insane. Nope. Okay. That's it. All right. Let me see if the chat is working. Okay. It is working. So no comments on that. Having to not be able to be fun in your adult life. Having to be able to still have that access to that. All right. Lack of concentration. Kids learn best through playing. Thank you, Regina, for that. And so I believe that adults learn best too from that. Everybody likes my graphics and everything. I think there should just be a healthy balance as you transition into adulthood, because this whole thing of adult life has to be boring. Why? It's like you're being penalized for something that you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. Yes, they do need to play. Yes, they do. All right. So my answer, why is it hard for adults to learn to smile often? And Nola said, it works best and everyone is happy. Everyone should do it your way. Yes, I'm not saying everybody should dress up like a clown and start juggling every day. But I am saying for the people who have Raz and Mataz, they should be able to keep their Raz and Mataz the whole entire time until they're no longer here. And it's okay to do that. But this rigidness, this is why you end up having people go and have extremes for immediate gratification after they leave school, from high school, college on, and their job is because they're like, this ain't fun. Work ain't fun. Play changes, but it's good for mental health and emotional health. You're actually happier. Yes. Did you see my comment above? Yes, no. You said if it works best and everyone is happy, everyone should do it your way. Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm saying. If it's not sacrificing, it's not illegal, and it's not sacrificing anything from people's preferences and all of those things, then yeah, the comment above that. I didn't know. I saw the one comment that I read. The only comment that I have for you is if it works best and everyone is happy, everyone should do it your way. That's the only comment I see. Somebody was talking crap. I didn't see it. Trapped with thoughts about our lives. I don't see any of what you're talking about. No. Oh, you talking about why is your brain on your shirt and not in your head? Oh, I didn't see that. I can remove that comment. They're gone. All right. Good morning, Jared. Okay, so here we go. Why is it so hard for adults to laugh and smile? It's often hard for adults to laugh and smile because their brains become wired for protection instead of connection. Over time, the adult brain prioritizes efficiency, caution, and control, and the functions of the prefrontal cortex and amygdala, which can suppress spontaneous joy. So no, not going to have fun. I'm not going to laugh. Not going to do that at all. And so now you are actually saying, I don't want to connect. I got to protect. I'm not going to connect. I got to protect. Not going to connect. And that's no brainer. Yes, I got it. And they're gone. All right. So here's what happens. There's chronic overload. Adults live in a near constant state of chronic overload. Their working memory and attention system in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex are consumed by tasks, deadlines, and responsibilities. And this leaves little mental space for humor, play, or lightness. These are activities that require openness and flexibility. So because you have tasks, deadlines, and responsibilities, there's little room for joy. So when you finally get off work, you finally need a job, whatever, you start having all this fun that you couldn't have while you were working. Now, some of that is on the part of the employer, because just because work has to be work doesn't mean work needs to feel like work. You can still get everything done and have an enjoyable experience while being efficient. Now, why can't it take place? It cannot take place because managers don't have cognitive flexibility. Manager's job, this is the work, this is what we got to do. Administrators in school systems, this is the work, this is what we got to do, then we got to get out of here. Because managers are not leaders. But when leaders can manage and lead, they can make all of it a joyful experience where you can actually come to work, feel value added, leave with some cognition, and go home better than when you got there. But you can't do that if you have a fixed mindset. And so it's easier to manage with a fixed mindset to say, here's a job, get the work done, and take your ass home. And everybody leaves with no reward. And that's why it's just like, oh, well, I got my paycheck. Well, I'm only going to do what I'm paid to do. I ain't going to do more than that, because the people in positions of power and authority and in charge lack cognitive flexibility. So that's why so many people hate their jobs. And if you do something outside of that, hence me, now you're being told you're not following the rules. That's not how it goes. But what's happening is their amygdalas are saying, we're comfortable with you just coming in and doing what we said and leaving. That makes our job easier. And that's the problem with employment, because people are not saying, let's grow, let's change, let's do this. The gotcha cars that I did in the warehouse, because they were saying safety is bad in the warehouse. Well, second shift, they just throwing 25 to 35,000 cases. They're going to hit some shit. No. Forklifts are expensive, and tiering in warehouses are expensive. We're not going to do that. Workman's comp claims are expensive. This is an expense. So how do I stop this? And I made the gotcha cards. And guess what stopped happening? People stopped hitting shit. People stopped dropping shit. People started plugging in forklifts, and so they weren't being and putting the water in the batteries and all of that. So inspect what you expect. And people enjoyed coming to work as much as you can, throwing the 35,000 cases in a shift. And so you can figure out a way to make it better so that it is. People spend more of their life at work, their adult life at work, than anywhere else. Why can't it be fun? Number 2 is amygdala dominance. So the amygdala becomes overactivated, stressed, uncertainty, and fear of judgment. So when this happens, it signals danger instead of delight, shutting down laughter pathways and replacing them with hypervigilance or defensiveness. So when you are at the job, especially if you are in management, you are competing for that next promotion and that next position. And so now everybody is pitted against each other. PC is going to be extruded, and extruded is going to be corn, and the warehouse got to be traffic, and all of these other things take place that now you're like, I'm not going to tell you my best practices because I need to get a pay raise. I need to get that promotion to senior resource. I need to become a BUL. And now all of that takes place. And now you really are just like, okay, I can't trust nobody at the job. Every time I say something, somebody taking my ideas. So then it's this perpetual environment of competition. And the last thing you're thinking about doing is becoming happy and joyful because your livelihood depends on it. Emotional suppression. Many adults have learned to equate seriousness with professionalism or maturity. I had someone tell me that I was unprofessional on LinkedIn years ago. And so I did a professional video for that person and I posted it on LinkedIn. They told me now LinkedIn is just as not professional as the rest of them because they realized they needed to change for the millennials that were coming into the workforce. And now it don't look like it did 10 years ago. But she told me I was unprofessional. And I said, fuck you. Watch this. I'm going to be professional and then I'm going to be unprofessional. I'm going to post this video for your ass. So the conditioning suppresses the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the region that balances logic and emotional expression. Over time, they lose access to the easy joy that comes naturally to children. So because you were being told you need to be a professional, you are a parent, you need to grow up, you're a grandparent, and so now you need to be professional. Now, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. So for all the grandmas out there that saying they're grandmas and 60 is the new 40, your ass is in denial and that shit ain't true. That's not what I'm saying. I can have fun. I'm teaching you about the brain and we are having fun. So it doesn't mean don't be smart. It doesn't mean don't have wisdom. It just means don't be approved all the damn time. So I'm professional. I'm so professional. No, you're not. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to flub a word. It's okay to make a mistake, but it's this persona. So now, because your default mode network has you and your ego, now you're going to just present this to everybody. I'm so professional. I don't really laugh. I do that. And it's not real. And all you're doing is having your brain deteriorate. You're weakening the parts of your brain that should be high functioning because you're trying to fit into this safe cocoon so that people will take you seriously. People ain't gonna take you seriously if you don't have a command presence or you're not a leader. It's not gonna fucking matter. You can put a whole fucking suit on. It's not gonna matter. You can change your vernacular. You can change your tonality. You can speak like this and you can do all those things. And people still ain't gonna think that you a bad mofo. So it don't work. Just be yourself. And by weakening all these things, you literally are taking away your personality, which is in your prefrontal cortex. So then number 4 is lack of neural flexibility. Rigid thinking and repetitive emotion loops create what I call neural cement. So you got neural cement. And when adults stop exploring, joking, and playing, and stop creating new connections in the brain, this reduces neuroplasticity and your emotional range. So on today's live, Daisy was on today's live, and Bridget, for a minute, she's driving through the mountains. And so her connections is spotty. But I started out a conversation talking to a woman truck driver. Then I went and talked to somebody who's transitioned out of the military. And I had a conversation with somebody who's in sobriety and recovery. And I had information for all of them because of my diverse life that I have lived. And so what happens is when you have a lack of neural flexibility, then if I had stayed in the military, I would have never been able to talk to Miss Wheeler, Miss 18 Wheeler. If I was not open about how many people are alcoholics in my family and addicts and that I'm in Al-Anon, now I can't talk to the person about sobriety. And then if I had not ever gone in the military and said, forget it, then I don't have advice for somebody that's retiring after 8 months and say, document everything, because 20 years later, I'm still fighting for my doggone rights from my disability from the shit that actually happened to me. So I had information for him and how to transition from the military to become a civilian. So if you just stay in this rigid, neuro inflexible environment, you can't talk to everybody. You can't be the everyday leader for everyday life because you ain't doing everyday shit. So it's like, I'm going to be this and that's it. And I'm not going to have any neural flexibility whatsoever. Then you're not going to be able to connect with human beings. You're not going to have that connection. You're going to be focused on protecting your stupid ass image that ain't even real anyway. Number 4, neglected reward circuit. So without laughter, the dopamine reward system weakens. The brain stops expecting pleasure and joy becomes effortful instead of effortless. So what happens is you can't create your own natural reward circuit. So now you're demanding it from an external source. I'm going to watch some TikTok videos because I need to laugh. I'm going to go to a comedy show. I'm going to go look at comedies on television because your own loop is weakened. It's damn near on life support. Or should I say neural pathway support. And that's why people are like, oh, I need to be entertained. I need to be entertained. I need to be entertained, because they're not entertaining. They can't even entertain the thought of being entertaining. So now they say, well, I'm just going to be this. I'm going to go laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Or they need some libations. So the libations will help them liven up. And then they got to recover from that. And then they're back to their prude, regimented, professional self. So no joy. It's the people who are like, we planned the best family reunion and people were skeptical because I don't drink and Nola was a kid. How's she gonna plan it? She don't even drink. Best family reunion they ever had. I ain't got to drink to know how to have fun, and neither do you. But if you do, don't think because it ain't gonna be fun. Was she the one in the military? How's she go? Never underestimate the power of a real leader. So the point is that reward circuit is weak as hell, and now you're seeking it from all these other sources. And you can't provide it yourself. So it's artificial smiling and enjoying and smiling and laughing. So now you don't have it. So if you're waiting on your favorite comedian to come back on tour, you're waiting on your favorite show to come back on, and you can't create it yourself. But you can have your own fun, your own joy yourself, and it will be natural, and you can do it when you want to instead of waiting for the external stimuli to show up. So adults stop laughing not because life gets harder, but because their brains stop allowing space for light. So you stop laughing and smiling because you didn't allow the space for it to exist in your own mind. And today's real leader brain and PA are about space, neurological space. So I think that's apropos. So what are your thoughts about the reasons why adults stop laughing and smiling? They don't do it. And while you answer, drink water. And reminder, if you're thinking ellipse, brain, emoji, something, and let me see if I need to. Okay, there we go. Got it. So you're going to drink water and read. So your thoughts. You had a thought? I gave you some more thoughts. What do you think about what I just said? Don't like seeing people lose their spark. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. And so, yeah. And what we found is that when Nola was working with athletes, American athletes, they were so happy during the recruiting process. And then they got to school and then reality hit. And now some of them, not even 20 years old yet, look like they got spouses and kids at home. That college sports be college sporting, and just all the glimmer is just, and it turned into a business and they turned into a commodity. And it was sad to watch. It really was. It's unfortunate. And it happens to the best of them. So I still have that little smile on my 5th grade photo. And earlier than that. But you can still have joy. Even after all you've been through. Because people say, oh, Donna, life was life. And you don't understand. I'm like, no, I understand. Life is still, I got every reason to be a horrible human being right now. I have every lot. And nobody wouldn't say, well, I don't know why she's saying that. They'd be like, yep. I understand that. You look, if I was a superhero, you look at my origin story, you'd be like, okay, she could be a villain or she could be a hero. I chose hero instead. Don't lose your joy by making your job fun. Right. And you can still have it in there in the most mundane. And one of my favorite books, and I just read it recently, is Fish. And so you can still have fun at work that is really like, watching paint dry. But you can still make it fun. You just have to have the cognition and working memory, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, ventromedial prefrontal cortex, all working together to ensure that you are. Because the way I see it is, every day is a day that you will never ever see again, no matter how old you live to be. You're not getting this day back. So make the best of this day. It's sad that natural spontaneity is snuffed out, but I believe you must make efforts to be. So it is efforted because of how many people, because the brain is wired for negativity bias. And so light and see the humor in everything. It is. Even in the darkest times of your life, you can still, once you grow through that, you can still have joy. Every single day, you can find a reason to laugh and smile and make life worth living. Okay, thank you very much. Now, so here are some steps to smile daily and laugh often. Number 1, start with a smile reset. Each morning, smile on purpose for 10 seconds, even before you feel like it. So just go to the mirror. I look like a toothpaste commercial. This activates the facial feedback loop, signaling your brain to release dopamine and serotonin. So it is your neural cue for positivity. So you train your face to remind your brain that joy is possible. So everybody just smile. And a real smile. That's a deep smile, not that crazy, that Christmas, everybody about to put the matching Christmas pajamas on. And one thing that I've noticed about several celebrities, and Nola and I noticed it, I'm not going to mention their names, but they have the same smile all the time. No matter what outfit they have on, it is their go-to smile. And it looks like they're smiling, but as Tyra Banks said, smizing. You got to smile with the eyes too. Because if you don't, it ain't going to work. Sometimes I play Super Mario's in my head to gamify my job. Yes. So that's right. And that's why I've always had music around me. Even in the Army, there's a picture of me in the Humvee. I got my headphones on my head because my driver, PFC White, sometimes I just be like, not today, White. Because he would have some stories that he was from the South. And I was like, White, I'm from the city. I can't. I don't understand nothing you talk about right now. Just go ahead and get to the training site. Just not today. Got a lot of work to do. So yeah, that part. You got to smile. And it makes you feel better. So add humor to your routine. So listen to something that makes you laugh daily. The music, a short clip, a friend's joke. Laughter activates your reward circuitry in the ventral striatum and lowers your cortisol. It resets your prefrontal cortex for focus and emotional balance. Now, you're not doing that to replace your own natural dopamine loop. You're just saying, oh, let me go ahead and quick start this. Let me do that. And ha ha ha. And now for the rest of the day, I'm going to have my own joy. Now, use your joy language. So replace stress-based statements like, I'm tired, I can't handle this, with joy-based reframing. I'm recharging, I'm learning patience. So this strengthens the left prefrontal cortex, the region tied to optimism and emotional regulation. So you're going to, and I say rephrase that too, word choice matters all the time. Now you're going to share a smile with someone else. So smile intentionally at one person a day, online or in person. And this triggers your mirror neurons, encouraging empathy and connection. Real leaders use smiling as a leadership signal of openness and safety. So smiling is universal. Doesn't matter what country you're from, what language you speak, everybody knows. People understand smiling. And then you can write about a joyful moment. So before bed, write down one thing that made you smile or laugh. And this activates the hippocampus, helping the brain file joy as a memory worth repeating. And over time, your brain begins to seek out positive experiences automatically. So if you have not smiled all day long, you got to check yourself. You got to go in your default mode network, say, hey, yo, what's happening? What's up with us? Why haven't we smiled? What's happening with the day? Because, again, you want to create that joy, laughing often, smiling circuit. We're hardwired for negativity bias. And so it's easy to say, yeah, today was fucked up. A lot of shit going on. I'm tired. Don't make no sense. I'm exhausted. I'm sleepy and everything else, without having an enjoy component. Because there's two sides to every coin. So there is the ability to think negatively, but think positive. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So you have to be efforted in finding that joy, finding that laughter and that smiling. That's on you. Number 6, practice real leader gratitude. When you find yourself serious or stressed, pause and say, my smile is not denial, it's discipline. This reframes smiling as a leadership behavior and not a mood. So it's not, oh, I'm not denying what's happening. I'm saying, okay, I'm still going to discipline myself to see the joy in this lesson too. Because every time something has gone left in my life and I choose to say, okay, that didn't work, but how can that work? And now I have stories of what to do and what not to do, and I can find the humor in both of those situations. So Dr. Donna's real leader reminder is a real leader doesn't wait to feel happy before smiling. They smile to create the feeling. So I walk in Sterling Heights back in the day. I used to get there at 12 because my shifts, I had 2 different start times for 2 different parts of the distribution center. One started at 1. They worked until 9. The other one started at 2. They got off at 10. I had a 10-hour day. So that means I started before them and ended with the second group that came in theory. And so if Julie, my CSR, and Jackie will call me and say, Donna, we got 5 call-offs, we got 3 call-offs. All right, bet. I'm on my way. So I already know going in that everybody is going to need to be empowered in order for this work to get done. And I could like, there they go again. And then that's only going to make the work day longer. But we in pre-shift, I'm doing the exercise and everything. All right, bet. I'm going to go ahead and post. We're going to get out of here. I'm posting to 12. I think we can get it done in 10. Y'all let me know. Let's see what's happening. And then boom, we're out of there. Sometimes we can get out of there at 9. At 9 hours instead of 10 hours. And that works perfectly. But if I go in there like, here we go, and I hired all the right people and they still ain't coming in, people don't want to work, this is why it's hard to find good help, I could be there till 5 o'clock in the morning behind that. So you have the ability as a thermostat, not a thermometer, to set the temperature for your own life and those who you have control and influence in on the day-to-day basis. That is 1000% on you. You get to choose it. Choose your attitude as part of the fish philosophy, and you get to choose the attitude that you have every single day. And when you have an attitude of gratitude, you can say, okay, cool. This is a character building day. I got this. I posted a video in the stories on Instagram after we finished the closets, and I was tired. You could see that I was tired, but we did a good thing for a family. And so that made it worth it at the end of the day. And then we came home, and then I went to sleep, and I woke up, I did my lives. We had to do some work yesterday, and here we are. So the problem is that unaccountable people are lazy as shit. They have a fixed mindset, and they live in fucking comfort zones. So anything that feels like effort, they want to make fun of us. They want to make sense, you over there doing all that work, ha, 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 ha. And your ass don't have no working memory, ha, 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 ha. And it's going to take you 2 days to catch the joke that I just gave you because you can't think straight. So that's the exchange. Do you want to be neurologically apt? You want to have the ability to problem solve and innovate and risk take and challenge yourself and grow. If you do, your life is going to look different than the people sitting in a comfort zone. They don't mind being lemmings because they're on autopilot, and they will take that external dopamine manufactured shit and sit and complain and do nothing until they actually need their brain. And then that's when they're going to try to call you. No, you should have built the neural pathways. You were laughing at me when I was going to do work. You were laughing at me when I was reading all those books and everything. You called me a nerd and everything else. Go ahead and talk to the people in your comfort zone. Go ahead and talk to the comfort cocooners. Y'all work that shit out. Y'all try to figure out how to get out of a wet paper bag because y'all got about 7 neurons between all of y'all, the neural pathways that you're using. So yes, it's efforted because life was meant to be efforted because the brain needs new information to function at a higher level. So it's going to take effort to laugh at a situation, to smile, to have joy, to learn, grow, change, and develop. But that's how we were actually designed to be. They are not the standard by which excellence is measured. They are the shit that you avoid. Like the plague. They'll be like, well, dang, they get off work. I used to be mad. My mother, I watched her work, come home from middle school up after the crack era, and she'd be home by 4 o'clock, take her bath, throw some dinner together for herself, and then sit and watch the news, Entertainment Tonight, TMZ, all that, and she sleep by 9 o'clock. She ain't got no homework. She ain't had shit to do. I was like, damn, she got it easy. And now I'm like, she ain't do shit. And now she's still sitting in front of a TV, gossiping on the phone, talking shit about people. That's her existence until she dies. That ain't no fucking life. That ain't it at all. Because the problem happened is she got to call all the family members to help her out of shit that she willingly jumped herself in. So yes, joy is important and laughter is important. Wiring your brain to use all of it is going to take sweat equity, mental sweat equity. That's what it's actually going to take. And until there are more people in the world using their brain than not, you're going to wake up to negativity bias. So what? Discipline is doing the right thing even when nobody is watching. It doesn't matter. Steve Jobs and then when they made those Apple computers, they signed the inside of it. And the designers were like, why the fuck we doing that? Ain't nobody going to see it. He said, we saw it. We know that it's in there. We made this. Our name is on the inside of that. He said when his daddy was a carpenter, he painted the backside of the cabinets and the dressers and things that he built because they're like, oh, it's going up against the wall. It doesn't matter. What if you move it? So what? Complete it. Complete the whole thing. So the moral of the story is this. If you don't have joy in your life, that's on you. If you can't laugh and you can't smile, that's a neurological choice that you are making. You weakened your brain so that those reward circuits wouldn't work. Do not blame anybody else that you need an external stimuli in order to be able to laugh and smile and have joy. That's 1000% on you. So what are your thoughts about the steps that you need to take to laugh often and to have joy, to smile every day? What are your thoughts about that? And while you're thinking about that as well, drink water. Brain as a generator. Doggone air quality. It's going to be cold and windy today. High's only going to be like 67. Fall is here. The wallpaper hanger signed the wall in my mom's house. We said when we took the wallpaper down, it's still there. Drink water. Very cool. No idea that joy is neurological choice. Yeah. Everything is a neurological choice is what I'm finding as I come to my 1-year anniversary here next month of studying the brain, mastering the brain, teaching others how to do the same so the people in the world will forever be changed. It is. And that's interesting that you say that, Regina, is because we often don't think the things that we're doing on the daily basis are neurological. We think they're behavioral and everything else, but the choice happens up here first. The decision to do or not to do happens up here first, and then it manifests itself. And that doggone basal ganglia will keep a habit circuit way longer than it needs to be. It will keep it much longer than it needs to be there. And that is why you have to challenge yourself every day. That's why you got to go get some neurons from the dentate gyrus. Otherwise, you are going to be stuck. That's just the way it is. Life is hard, and you just need to accept that. I'm not accepting that. Your life might be hard, but mine isn't. Mine is amazing. I'm not going to sit and just sulk and be old and wait to turn 65 so I can start doing Sudoku at the old folks' homes. I don't want to be at Shady Pines doing jigsaw puzzles. I'm good. I want to do like my grandfather, live to be well into my 90s and just 3 weeks, done, gone. Fall asleep and don't wake back up. But up until then, full cognition. Full cognition. That would be wonderful. That would give me time to get my Nobel. Become a laureate. No, the Shady Pines, right? The old folks' home. Practicing gratitude, even for simple things, creates joy and is free. 1000%. That is correct, Regina. And so that's the other thing that the unaccountable is having you believe with this fixed mindset is that you got to go purchase joy and happiness. No, you don't. It's a whole bunch of people with a lot of shit. They still ain't happy. They still don't have joy. They still don't smile. And they still don't laugh often. They worried about if somebody going to steal their shit that they bought after they showed it off. Got cameras everywhere. And that's no life either. All right. So today's brain bit is your brain as a generator. All right. Dr. Donna's real leader insight is this. Your brain is a generator and it produces energy, ideas, emotions, and actions. So the quality of your thoughts determines the voltage you generate. The quality of your thoughts determines the voltage that you generate. So you got to have quality thoughts if you want more voltage. You have to do that. So high functioning brains produce consistent, clean energy through focus, purpose, and rest. So we're talking about, oh my God, global warming and all those other things. Is your brain producing clean energy? Something to think about. Low functioning brains short circuit under pressure. If they have pressure, distractions, or overthinking. So you have the people living in their comfort cocoons, bragging about how comfortable they are, and the slightest small thing short circuits everything. And now they're like, oh my God, something that you would just blink at and be like, all right, bet, that's no big deal. They over there, Charlie in the mailroom, the sky is falling, Chicken Little, because that's what's happening. They can't overthink. They can't barely think because they are on autopilot. So yeah, that low functioning ass brain circuit that's just looking for external stimuli is going to be a problem for real, for real. Regina said, I actually enjoy being around young people because of their spontaneous attitudes and interactions with their friends. They are sometimes playful like puppies. Yes. And that is why we should continue to stay around each other. When we go into some houses and they have 3 generations there and the families are family, and then it's a great thing to see. But if it ain't nucleus, get the hell out there. Yes, Regina, it is. And that's why people look at young people and say, oh my goodness, you got your whole life ahead of you. Okay, then what it look like? Because you looking at them and they looking at you and they like, I don't want to be old. That's why everybody like, I don't want to be old. I don't want to be old. No, look at old people. I don't want to be old. Because of that doggone working memory ain't working no more. But if you still have all your youth, inspiringness, youthfulness, and your brain plus the wisdom, or you're a sight to be seen. And now young people will sit at the hem of your garment and say, hey, put some wisdom on me, OG. Over there, what you know? What you doing? I want to know. I want to be like you when I grow up. But we don't hear that no more. Everybody like, nah, die young and leave a pretty corpse. Okay, that's what's happening. So you literally need to think about the high voltage thoughts that you are or aren't having. The neuroscience connection is this. Your brain generates electrical activity across billions of neurons. And each spark creates communication, memory, and motion. And when you fuel your brain with positive input, sleeping, learning, and reflection, you stabilize your internal power grid. And so, Jared, for you, sleeping, learning, and reflection, you stabilize your internal power grid. Now, you're not thinking of your brain as a generator. You're not thinking of having clean thoughts. You're not thinking of that at all, clean energy. But that's what's happening. So if you got neurotoxicity with a low functioning brain that short circuits every day, how you gonna laugh? How you gonna have joy? How you gonna smile? Laugh often and smile frequently. How you gonna do that? You don't have it up here to do it. Right, because you get older, but you don't have to be old. Keep your brain and your body, if you can, active. Yes. And so what happens is you stabilize your power grid. So here are some applications. Regulate your energy. Don't overcharge or drain your circuits. So don't have so much going on. Like, now it's like, you're going to get a power surge, but don't drain your circuits every day either. Generate clarity. Focus on one clear goal at a time. Yes. Oh, your cortisol levels, well, awesome. That's beautiful to hear, Jared. Recharge daily. So rest isn't laziness. It's repowering your brain's network. I do not like the people, and I don't think they say it no more before a while. All of the business hustling people, team, no sleep. Sleep is for the weak. No. Sleep is for people who actually want to regenerate and rejuvenate and rest their cognition so they can live another day to be powerful. Team no sleep is over there on power drinks, energy drinks, and a little bit of snow for the nose. Yeah. So that that's what you, I'm not going to sleep. No. That's no brainer. Don't do that. Recharge daily. And then inspect your inputs. Your thoughts, your conversation, and your environments either power or weaken your output. So everything you do, everything you're consuming, every conversation that you have, every interaction that you have with people is either good brain work or bad brain work. It's either strengthening your brain or it's weakening your brain. So here is Dr. Donna's quote. Real leaders generate power through peace, not panic. So you tap into your power when you have neural clarity. Now you can see everything, you understand what's taking place. When you rest and you relax and you rejuvenate, now you have the ability to produce again on the next day. When you got low functioning brain, you're going to short circuit. When you're sitting in your comfort zone, working memory is damn near unemployed and all of that, you're going to be nice and comfortable and stuck until you need your brain. And then you're going to be trying to contact all the people who actually, because I find it interesting, my family sat around and did nothing, but every time they needed something solved, who they calling? Me, the person that was doing all the fucking work while they was chilling. Now it's like, hey, we need you. And now make it seem like it's a reward circuit for me. It ain't. You only call when you need. You're not checking on me when you don't need, when you having fun. I'm like, why y'all didn't tell me? Well, because you don't really like to go today. And we didn't think about it. No, because you didn't need active functioning brains for that shit. But then as soon as you do, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was still talking to my family and they had the 4th of July picnic at the house, they needed a toilet seat changed in one of the bathrooms, and not the garage, the garbage disposal wasn't working. So we had to come over there early. I fixed the garbage disposal. Nola changed out the toilet seat. And then when we got there for the barbecue, they ignored us. I'm like, y'all, the garbage disposal won't work. This is going to be a mess. Sleep replenishes the organs. Yes. I'm like, I'm not in none of the pictures. I said, okay, I'm just going to the other room. I'm just reading my book. I couldn't believe it. It's like, yeah, y'all. Then during COVID, they was like, ain't nobody coming over here for the holiday but y'all. I bet y'all miss us at them holidays now. Yeah. So me being their generator, their power source. Everybody plug in, then leave. And yeah, well, y'all gonna take a play home? All right, I guess. Yeah. So no, ain't nobody using my neural circuitry but me. That's how that goes. All right. Now, okay, I don't know what that's popping up later. Okay. So my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this. And wait, one more time. Drink water. And how I've handled all of this trauma and setback and everything else is that, first of all, I believe in a higher power. I do believe in karma. I do believe in vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and all of that. You believe what you want to believe, but I also believe that I'm here for a higher purpose. And I believe that I can still do extraordinary things regardless of ordinary people doing regular shit around me. I am getting more sleep since I've been focusing on it. That's awesome, Jared. Wonderful. That really is a beautiful thing because your brain needs you to go ahead and rest it so that it can become more powerful. You got a book a week to read, so you definitely need your neural pathways. Okay, so that's my thought process on it. Is I'm not about to let people throw me off my square. I'm a thermostat. I'm a thermostat, not a thermometer. And so they can do whatever they want to do, and they can have whatever life experience they want. But you're not gonna stop me from being extraordinary. I'm not gonna let you steal my happiness, my joy, the light in my eyes, or none of that. Do I have my moments? Absolutely. I am human. Tear ducts are there for a reason. But for the most part, I'm cool as the other side of the pillow because I know that I don't get today back. So I'm not going to spend months and months and months and years and years and years not having joy because of what's happening. And I tell the story all the time. I tell people, I'm like, yeah, shit, I lost 145 pounds in one day. They're like, damn, how'd you do that? I went to the courthouse and got divorced. So much my ex-husband, 5'8.5", 145. He probably like 160 by now. But we is a skinny lot over here. Yes. And so that's the way I handle that situation. Oh my gosh, you look good and everything. How did you do that? Got rid of that dead weight. Like, nope, not gonna have this barnacle sucking the life out of me. You got to go so I could grow. All right. 3 questions on the agenda today before we close out. What did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what was your brain conversation yesterday? What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? Brain conversation yesterday. Remember, you thinking, ellipse, thinking emoji, brain emoji, something. So I know that YouTube is still functioning. And while you're thinking about that, as I mentioned earlier in the live, when I believe I was just talking to me and Daisy or myself, I said what I said. No, We will be live on YouTube going forward because Instagram is holding 5 of my lives hostage. They will not let me download them and put them on my YouTube channel. Jared can't get into stuff. Mackenzie can't get into stuff. People keep sending me messages talking about there's a wait list. So I have 2 help desk calls, emails into Instagram. And if I don't hear the answer that I want to hear, we taking this show on the road. But for sure, Nola and I will be on YouTube going live at 5 p.m. on Fridays now, because then the live will stay where it is. And we will be able to download it, take clips, put them everywhere else. But the old ass outdated algorithm on Instagram is doing what the old ass outdated algorithm does. It tells you that it's going to be able to do something to you. It's like meeting somebody at the bar. They're going to tell you all this shit they can do, but they lying to you because they can't. They ain't who they say they is. So we are transitioning to TikTok and to YouTube. Daisy said, what I learned today is I have brain work to do. Yes, ma'am. We all do. We all do. Do, 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 do. That hurt. All this hurts. Gotta do my nasal rinse. And you all have some great ideas about that brain challenge question yesterday. I meant to say that. I also learned that the brain is cooling itself when you yawn. So it's not necessarily an indication of being tired. Nola said, I learned happiness stops at elementary school. It doesn't. It doesn't have to. Only if you let it. This just hurts. Either way. Jared said, I learned to look for the funny to reduce stress. Yes. Let that dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and that ventral medial prefrontal cortex. It's really just the whole prefrontal cortex that needs it. I learned about myself. I could smile and laugh more. Yes, you can. I agree. And sometimes, depending on what's happening in your life, you believe that you don't deserve to be laughing and smiling, but you actually do, because life is filled with many different experiences, and that's just the season that you're in. Doesn't mean that you can't express joy and laughter and smile while it's taking place. It actually makes that not so bad. Because you're going to get the lesson and you're going to get the blessing. And what happens is when you have those experiences, because we interact with everyday people and everyday lives, it allows people to see, oh, you're on the other side of that. Oh, you're on the other side of that. Okay, I'm going through that. And now we're looking at each other because we're leading by examples and we're all thermostats and not thermometers. We're just like, oh, this is just a season. Okay, cool, bet. Yes. Okay. And hold up. Okay, yeah. And Keen B8997. Number 1, the quality of your thoughts determines the voltage you produce. Number 2, I'm the power generator that is about to break down for everyone except my gram, and that's because she's still developing. All right, I hear you. Eric, you ain't plugging into me. Y'all need to figure it out. All adults have 86 billion neurons, especially with the ones that are over the age of 25. They got a fully, in theory, functioning prefrontal cortex, so they can go ahead and use theirs. This ain't no credit score. This ain't money. The brain is the brain. It's the same. So we all got 24 hours in the day. We got billions of neurons. My daughter has 3 mental illnesses, so we working right now. She's mad at me. Well, she was. Because right now, the ADHD and the ADD, I know it's all ADHD 1 and 2. She does not want to call it that. Those are very much running on all cylinders. And so now we're focused on the autism. And so yesterday was an autistic moment again. And she's like, nobody's doing this. You're saying do something that's never been done. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not putting up with this shit no more. So what happens is with the people who have autism and people on various different parts of the spectrum, and I understand that, is that people just are trying to like, wrap people in blankets and do all these things when they're stimming and everything, and they're just letting it happen. And I'm like, fuck that. We're not doing that. You're gonna wire your brain so that you will take the benefits of having a touch of autism, and then that other stuff you're gonna prune. And yes, this is a working theory, but I know I'm right because the other two are under control. I'm like, everybody got shit wrong with their brain. And it's just like, and the other thing I said, and this gonna piss off psychologists and psychiatrists, and I don't give a fuck, they just keep finding shit wrong so they can keep having fucking clients. Ain't no damn solution for it. They can keep having clients and they can keep fucking selling products because you can wire the brain so that you take the good from it and the bad gets pruned. But that's not gonna work because who's gonna be laying on their couch? Who they gonna talk to? That's why we keep getting these new improved fucking mental illnesses. We could just genetically, if we can go in and do fetal things inside the fetus now before babies even get here, because then they will have to have something else to do. And their job depends on behavioral modification in disease brains. That part. I said it. Nola, my brain conversation was I need to eradicate, I think, outbursts and stop holding my autism and start holding my autism accountable. Absolutely. Oh, it's Bridget. I told my mother and my nephew makes bad decisions because his prefrontal lobe is not developed. He's 12. Okay. I got it. Right. And so it's for outbursts. People can stem. It's okay. Okay. So people can stem, but the outbursts are not okay. Got it. So that's what's happening in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, is that everyday people are hiding in plain sight. On my TikTok live this morning, I asked the definition of perseverance, and 3 people responded for the amount of people that were actually on the live. And it's because as an everyday person, you haven't been told that you can be extraordinary. You have been told that you have 86 billion neurons and you have the ability to do big shit. So you haven't. And the expectation for you has been not to. But inspect what you expect. And I expect if you have come to my presence, that it's time for you to be extraordinary, because it's not like I'm extremely popular on the internet. I don't promote my lives. I'm not paying and saying, hey, I'm going to be live. You show up, you hear, you find out about it. It's like a nice little best kept secret for now. And if you show up here, that means it's time for you to start braining. That means it's time for you to start accessing your 86 billion neurons so you could be a bad mofo, so that your day-to-day life is better. We talked about this the other day with Jared having not had access and then having access because he said some nonsense about LeBron James. And Jared is happy to be back. And now Jared has some things that are taking place neurologically for him that he would have not had access to had I said, nope, you can't come back. But I heard from a higher power to let him back, and now he is having a different experience, and the people around him are having a different experience. So do not see me today and think that it is coincidence, because it is not. This is your sign for you to start learning how to use your brain. Right. You fell into my life. I said, wow, just what I need. That's what everybody says, because that is what you're asking for. If you're not asking for this, I won't show up on your feed. I will not show up in social media. I will not show up in your life. I sound like Dr. Seuss. Anyway, none of that will take place. But if I show up, that means it's time for you to show up for you. I showed up so you could show up for you. That's why I'm on the other side of your screen. It was time for you to become a bad mofo. That's what it was time for. All this time, and this is Regina is the oldest person that we have right now. And Nola and Envy are the youngest, with Lorenzo right there with them. They are Z's. So we got from Z's to boomers. Looking for a silent generation. You got to be 80 and above. I'm looking for an octogenarian. Y'all know any that's ready to still use their brain? I'll let Regina tell y'all that. She older. She in her 7th decade of life. Yes. I received that, Jared. I was about to call you Derek. Yes. So that part. And we got some other boomers in here, as well as some X's and some millennials. So pretty much everybody is represented. at this point. The A's are not grown yet. I don't work with people that's not 18. So there you have it. You seasoned too. I know you seasoned. I know you Lori seasoned and salt over there. I think she a little bit more seasoned than you are. But you, her, and Lola are seasoned. Y'all seasoning together. Y'all like some Old Bay, some Tony Sassery and some Lori's seasoning. You put a little Old Bay on there. Bam! There we go. Okay. So yeah, that part. If I show up on your screen, it's time for you to start learning how to use your brain. That's it. Those are the rules. You was looking for a sign of change, and yes, here it is. So go to TikTok and subscribe, because we about to leave. We taking our show on the road, because I'm so pissed that Jared can't get to them other groups, and that Mackenzie and the person yesterday was like, it's a wait list, and people keep saying on TikTok, I try to subscribe, it's a wait list. I'm like, all right, motherfuckers, don't worry about it. That's why I got multiple social media accounts. We're not gonna stop. I'm not stopping till the day after I'm no longer here. That's how I see that. So thank you for your time and space today. Thank your brain for its space and its connectivity to connect you to your bad mofo-ness. You can do this. You have we leaving. I'm waiting on them to respond to me, because it's people who can't even subscribe right now. Because they're saying they're getting a notification from Instagram that there's a wait list. And I looked all through my account. I did not set up a wait list. I can't access a wait list. I can't increase the number. So it's literally people saying, I tried to subscribe, I can't. I tried to subscribe, I can't. I tried to subscribe, I can't. It's telling me I'm on a wait list. Jared can't even get into the Real Leader, the Be the Best broadcast channel that's public. And he can't get into the personal accountability one. That's public. So it don't make no sense. None whatsoever. So people can't even join. It keeps saying see channel. It's channel not available. Channel not available. That's insane. But they keep telling me, oh, this is good. This is going to be better. And that's the reason why I picked it, is because the way it was presented to me as a creator is that it was going to be better than being on TikTok subscription. I ain't never had no damn problems with people subscribing on TikTok. They were subscribing on TikTok before Instagram. And now I keep getting these messages and I can't get in contact with anybody. So we just gonna move on. He can't get in two public broadcast channels. So he can see the stuff in the stories, but then he got to send it to me to respond. That's what I'm saying. So the functionality ain't even functionality for the stuff that's public. It keeps telling him he can only get into one broadcast channel when he in Cincinnati. I checked. It was like, well, maybe it's your country. I'm like, Cincinnati is in America. What the fuck you mean? It's in Ohio. That don't even make no damn sense. So it's not functioning, and we can't download my lives. I think I was having that issue. Yeah, but we can't even download my lives. So I keep going for 5 days. I've been trying to download my lives, and it's like failed. Yeah. So Bridget is in Ohio too. We're not gonna have that problem on TikTok. That's what I'm saying. So we was trying to figure out who the other person was in Ohio, and it's you, Bridget. Got it. So anyway, none of it is working. And sometimes I'll try to scroll back up in the chat. Can't see. It's stuck. It won't even let me access my own stuff. So yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from them. They said 2 to 3 business days. Yesterday was Columbus Day. It is. And so that's why I've got 13,000 followers on TikTok. So no problem. But I literally said, oh, this will be better. This sounds like this is going to be better. So let's put everybody over here. It's not. Going back the other way. Same price. So yeah, we will transition out. As it time for you to renew? Don't renew. Go start something new. So putting some of the same things now that's on there over on TikTok. So those things will be there. Functionality is a little bit different, but it will be functioning. So that part. And then again, we're going live on YouTube now because I checked. So the reason why we can't do YouTube live on TikTok is because yesterday was Indigenous People Day. I did not know that. Yes, I'm just telling you on the federal calendar why it was not a business day why it told me 2 to 3 business days. I understand what you're saying. I'm saying according to their system, that's why I couldn't get an answer. So I should have an answer today or tomorrow. I don't participate in none of this shit at all. So For me, yesterday was October 13th, 2025. That's what day it was for me, Monday. That's how I see all of this. So, and that's just my personal preference, choice I made many moons ago. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. I'm just telling y'all that because again, it was presented to me that this was supposed to be functioning, and now there's all these glitches in the system. Like I said, dude at the bar trying to pick, yeah, I can take you out on a date, baby. Yeah, we go to Root Chris and all that. Motherfuckers like, yeah, let's go to Rubio's. No, not me. I take myself to Root Chris. I'm not about to be fucking eating. I can do that by myself. You supposed to be adding value. This ain't it. So Instagram is supposed to be adding value, and the value ain't value. And I was like, waitlist. And people kept saying it. No, it said waitlist. And then finally, when Mackenzie said it, she sent me a screenshot. I was like, how is that? I mean, and I know Sean, it took her a minute to get in, but she still got in. And then Jared, and now we can't download the lives and everything else. I'm like, well, we will be on YouTube Live. So Friday, YouTube Live, Nola and I, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And then the live will be there. And we will make a playlist for it. So if you miss it, then you can just see it along with everything else. So she can't do it on TikTok because you got to have 1,000 followers or more to go live with somebody else. And her followers are not there. But with YouTube, you can do it with the guest as a follower. And so that's the other thing about cognitive flexibility. And then I'm going to go. Because my cognitive flexibility is so high, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this done. It's just a matter of how. I even looked at membership sites, Patreon, and a couple other ones. Chat told me the benefits of all of them. I'm like, this is going to happen. It's just a matter of what digital platform it's going to happen on. So it's not happening. It's just where is it going to happen? We already have a playlist for it. You're right, we do, because we were downloading it until we couldn't. So that part, thank you for that. So one thing about me, I'm going to make it happen. If you ain't been around long enough, you will find out. Can makes the impossible possible. That's why it's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. It's less than 1K now. What do you mean? Me? No, Nola doesn't have 1,000 followers on TikTok because we were just going to switch the lives to TikTok. But in order for her to go live with me on TikTok, you can't go live on TikTok if you don't have 1,000 followers. So it's her account. I'm talking about the Friday Live with me and Nola. That's what I'm saying. No, I got 13,000 followers on TikTok. So you have to have 10,000 followers to do anything monetarily on TikTok or Instagram. And YouTube's stuff is so high now, it's insane. But yeah, so that part. So I'm waiting to hear back from them, and then we are going to pack our digital bags and go. I don't have a problem. I think it's less than 1K. I think it's 300. What? She still don't have that because I just checked the other day, and chat said it's 1,000 to go live, but she doesn't have 300 either. But it works on YouTube, so we're fine. And it's gonna end up on YouTube anyway, so it works. We do it, add it to the playlist, and now that's less steps that we need. It's 50 on what? YouTube or TikTok? Because yes, on 50, it's 50 on YouTube. I will check. Because it must have just changed. And your husband has the ability to go live. Because they did change a bunch. They changed the compensation and all of that. Because they're scared people going to leave now with the new purchasing thing on the table. Okay. Yep. Because when I just checked, but they just changed percentages for us. We just got a message last week about percentages. Okay, got it. So then they changed that when they updated everything else. When I just got that message last week sometime. So that's within the last week. So we've been looking at this longer than that. So anyway, yeah. So the moral of the story is when you can't get, because I could still be complaining and saying Instagram and all this other stuff. I'm like, this has more value and meaning than that. So how can I get this done? It's not a matter of it's not getting done. It's a matter of it's getting done. And that's just a notification from higher power God in the universe to switch and do something else. And so it's always a blessing too, because when TikTok went dark in January, on January 19th, I started going live on YouTube. And then I was like, oh, but now my lives just get to stay. On TikTok, you can't take the whole live. You can only get clips of it. But they used to be able to let you download the whole live. Then they didn't. And now you can't. And so now I'm finished with live. It turns into a live playlist and I'm good. So that was the benefit. So at first I was upset. Then I was like, no, this works out better. So there you have it. So every platform has its pros, every platform has its cons, and you just have to decide how you're going to do what you need to do. But Cam makes the impossible possible. And so we will be live on Fridays going forward on YouTube. All right. Thank you for your time and space. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power in the universe, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all go off and have a brain-tastic day. Take care.